Alrighty, we're live now. I'm only 2 minutes late. I promise. Alright, there we go. That looks great. Okay, so we're gonna do a couple of things. I'm gonna take a minute here to lower my music, and then secondly, I'm going to put everything on Tumblr, Twitter, and, you know, all that good stuff. I didn't have a chance to do that because, if you guys haven't noticed, I haven't quite gotten a chance to sift all of my ingredients yet. So, we have the sifter up here. I don't like seeing the sifter on camera because, frankly, this thing is old as hell, but, you know. There we go. Forgot the fact that I don't have ad blocker on my phone. So that's going to be an issue. Hello, Goomba. And, Senpai, I see you hiding over there. At least you're hiding in my viewer count. Alright. So I'm going to put everything up on Facebook, I'm going to put everything on Twitter, and then we are going to get started. In case you guys are wondering, yes, we are doing chocolate cake for the second time in a row. You're not subtle as you think, Senpai. That's how I found you. I can sense when Senpai is lurking. It's like a fifth and a half sense of mine. Alright, if you guys are wondering why I am a little late, it's because I forgot to take out the garbage. And I had to go through that. I was actually going to start at 3:55, but then I had to, you know, you gotta walk the trash all the way down to the dumpster, stuff like that. YouTube is giving me attitude. It'll be alright, though. I just have to close all these other windows out. That's really the problem. Yep, Lucio Cupcakes, which will hopefully complement Lucio Ball in the next couple of days. We'll see, fingers crossed. Okay, and then Lucio's full name, which I still don't quite know. Alright, there we go. Alright, everything's well situated. Now I can close out all these windows, and hopefully they won't interrupt, and hopefully they won't interfere with my bandwidth, because we can't be having that. Not today. Sorry. Maybe you know what to do. I know whether I should wait for the summer loot boxes, or buy them, or buy the Crash game. Buy the Crash game. Don't waste your money on loot boxes. Buy the Crash game. getting my golden gun from Mercy or Lucio, not Zen because I don't play him. Who should I get it for? Mercy. It looks cooler. Okay. Can you guys hear me okay? Is my audio alright? I'm getting a lot of red bars from YouTube right now, and it's kind of worrying me just a bit. Okay, it doesn't seem too bad. Audio is good. Okay, great. Okay, so that means we're gonna go ahead and get started. Let me turn my computer so I can actually see chat from where I'm standing. I don't like this stand that I have my computer on. It's like the most wobbly thing in existence. But let me just make sure. Oh, by the way, guess who's wearing a Power Ranger shirt today? This is one of my favorite shirts. Alright, focus. Come on. There we go. Took a minute. Hi, Jen. I see you hiding there. Alright, so, Lucio is a tiramisu cupcake, which, the reason why I chose tiramisu cupcake is because right now tiramisu is one of those desserts that's like from started out like from the lower tier. Like it has super humble beginnings, and I'm gonna be blunt with you. It was in Italian brothels. It was served in Italian brothels. It was considered like that dessert that no one should really be caught eating, and no one should admit to eating. So, but eventually it became known. It was refined and became known as probably one of the finest desserts you can eat nowadays, even if you can eat it at Olive Garden. But it's not complicated. This is kind of this recipe goes with my customizable chocolate cake. So let me move my camera up a little bit. Let's see. Okay, yeah, we're good with that. I want you guys to be able to see the stove too. But as per usual, we're going to start with combining our oil and our sugar. And this is coffee extract, or if you're like me, you just get a big thick shot of espresso. So we're going to combine that, and you need about 2 teaspoons of that. Let me take this off. I usually like to have my hair done up for cooking, but today it's too hot for that, especially to have a giant black cloth on it. I'm not mixing this by hand today. I know I don't use a hand mixer much, but I prefer to use it for this recipe simply because coffee can be pretty difficult to deal with sometimes. You see, look at that. It kind of resembles brown sugar. That's what you should get. Anything lighter, and you're going to have a little bit of issue. You're going to have some issues. Anyone getting some lag? Or do I just have to... I think I'm the one with the trash Wi-Fi, actually. Hang on. Let me reset the stream real fast. Just real fast. Alright, so the stream is continuing. So let me double check. I think all it took is resetting the stream, but I'm gonna double check just in case. Okay. Oh, hang on, I think I see the problem. Okay, that might help. Alright, let's try again. Okay, better? Good, 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 good. Okay, I'm glad. Okay, so like where we left off, brown sugar. Just make sure that your oil and your... Yeah, just make sure that your oil and your sugar are well incorporated. Okay, so then we're going to break out our eggs, which for this recipe have most definitely got to be at room temperature. These are jumbo eggs. Sorry, these are not jumbo. These are extra large eggs. And there is honestly no way that I can tell, the best way I can tell you to break an egg. Like, seriously, there is not. I would say that I broke almost 100 to 150 eggs a day working at Waffle House. So I've had a lot of practice. What kind of music is playing right now? And then mix those on pretty much the lowest speed possible. Be thorough, make sure you get the bottom. But at the same time, don't overmix. You see? That's what you want it to look like. Okay, so we're going to mix a little bit, make sure I got everything from the bottom here. Like I said, you don't want to mix your eggs. Mixing your eggs always leads to trouble. You can, when you overmix your eggs, you overdevelop the protein, and you get chewy. You get like a chewy product, and it's not great. Okay, so when it comes to sifting, you see some of it's already come through the mesh strainer here. But yeah, I just turn the crank. And all of my dry ingredients, this includes my cocoa powder, this includes my cocoa powder, my flour, my baking soda, my baking powder, and my salt. Now, different from the Symmetra cupcakes, the baking soda, there was no baking soda in the Symmetra cupcakes. There's baking soda in the Lucio cupcakes. How pissed would Lucio and Symmetra be in real life if they found out that they were both from the same recipe? Okay. Another thing I need is a full cup of milk. Alright, and we're going to do this just like we did the Symmetra cupcake. So we're going to take a little bit of flour, pour about 1/3 of it in, incorporate it fully into our batter here. It'll still look kind of sandy, and then you add your milk. Your milk also has to be room temperature. Now, if you want to use a hand mixer for this recipe, like I'm using right now, make sure your bowl has high sides like this one, or else you're going to get it all over you. And chocolate does not wash out. Trust me, chocolate stains. Chocolate stains, and it ruins your life. Ah! I did not mean to do that. Okay, when something like this happens, what you gotta do is add most of your wet here. Probably a little more than that. And be very, very careful when stirring. You don't want to develop any of the gluten. Okay, this still isn't mixed. This still isn't all the way incorporated. I'm just going to add the rest of what little dry ingredients I have because I accidentally spilled the rest of it in here. So we're going to throw that away. Wipe this down because it has a whole bunch of crap on it. And we're going to add the rest of the milk. You really should not add all the flour in like that. That was an accident. But in case it does happen, just be careful. And be careful not to overmix. Like, once it's all incorporated, leave it like that. Like, don't try to mix it anymore. Like, just leave it. Just trust me. You don't want a chewy cupcake. And when I say chewy, I mean like tough. Okay, so it's not quite finished. The last thing we need, and I'm going to be using the exact same cup. Is actual dark coffee. So we could possibly using espresso and coffee in this. This is just, you can see a little bit of milk in here because I just used it with the, because I just used the same, wait, what? Whoa. Something's up with my stream. Video output low. Hang on, guys. We're having some technical difficulties. Oh wow, my hands look gross and dry. Okay, I changed the bit rate again. Let's see what happens. But anyways, we're back with our hot coffee, which I could actually use a bit more, so... It usually has to be warm. And we're just going to pour that all in. Okay, now just like Symmetra's batter, this is really, really thin. So we're going to be using this, scrape the bottom, make sure we get everything, scrape the sides. Let's see, yeah. That's about as thin as we want it. Why does the stream keep cutting out? Alright, Hang on, guys. I'm gonna deal with whatever's going on here for just a sec. Okay. OBS stopped being dramatic. Yeah, I think the Power Ranger shirt, I guess the majesty was too much. Like, it just decided that it would, that it had to give up. Alright. I think it just didn't like me having a different way of doing the music in the background, because I was using a Bluetooth speaker. And I don't think it liked that very much, so we're going to go back to the old way that we did it. Alright, how's the lag now, guys? Is there anything happening? Anything I should be worried about? Okay, everything looks good. Okay. Alright, so back to where we were. The batter should be super thin. So we're going to go ahead and fill up our cupcake cups, which are blue and yellow, typically. And using our trusty dusty... Oh, whoop, my baby whisk decided to quit life. Trusty little ice cream scoop. We're going to be very, very careful. If you guys are wondering what the wet spots are on the cupcake cups, it's because I got a little overzealous with the coffee a second ago. And it kind of flew in a couple different directions. Okay, now the thing about Lucio's cupcakes is, because they have a lot of baking soda in them, they're going to rise a lot, unlike Symmetra's did. Because chocolate, believe it or not, is actually pretty acidic. And then it already has coffee in it, so that's going to create kind of a catalyst, for lack of a better word, that will get these cupcakes to rise. I know I'm not being the cleanest person here, but I don't think it matters. It's all going to the same delicious place. Like I said, they don't have to be a certain size, you just have to make sure they're all filled the same amount. And the ice cream scoop definitely helps that. There we go. Fill that up. Awesome. Alright, unlike the last cupcakes, we knew something special with these, and that's the tap. These are already going to rise enough as it is, so we want to get rid of as many air bubbles as we can. So we're going to pop these in the oven at 350, which is my default cupcake baking temperature, as you guys know. Alright. We're going to remove these. No, we're not going to lick them. We're going to go ahead and put these in the sink because I'm not going to need them anymore. Then we move on to something a bit more complicated, for lack of a better word. Alright guys, how's the sound and everything now? YouTube isn't being very forgiving. It's not really telling me anything, so I'm relying on you guys to tell me how the stream looks. We're going to wipe everything and our mat down and under the mat. Alright, so, I didn't show you guys how the recipe looks in the Bible. So, for those of you who don't know, this is the recipe Bible. It is my friend, companion, and ally in all problems, in all situations. And this is the Tiramisu Cupcake recipe. As you can see, it's 2 cups of white sugar, half cup of oil, 2 eggs, 2 tablespoons of coffee extract, 2 teaspoons of coffee extract, my bad, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, baking soda, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 cup of milk, and 1/2 cup of hot coffee, and 1 1/4 cup of flour. Yes, I did forget to write the flour in when I wrote down this recipe. The next thing is we're going to do Marscapone filling as if it were actually going into tiramisu. And yes, I did write it in green pen. I normally try to write it in pink, but I can't find my pink pen anymore, which is sad. Okay. We're going to put our batter aside for a sec, and I might make a second batch depending on how I feel. But if I can direct y'all's attention to this here. Alright. These are 2 egg yolks. Make sure they're at room temperature. Y'all get to look at my snazzy shirt as I turn on this pot of water. Now, I didn't give this quite enough time to get as hot as it could, so we're going to wait for it to boil. But what I'm going to do here in a second is called a double boiler. In other words, you have an indirect source of heat on something that would cook too fast if you put it on direct heat. We don't want scrambled egg yolks, okay? We're not going to put that in this dish. What we're going to do is we're going to put the sugar and the egg yolks together until they both homogenize, and then until it turns a pale yellow color. Oh my god, the Lucio cupcakes are already smelling so good! So good! Uh-oh, but I think I got some cocoa powder on the floor here. So if you guys give me just a second, I'm gonna go wet that up. I say I think I got cocoa powder on the floor, but yeah, there's a lot of cocoa powder on the floor. And I don't want to track it through my kitchen. I wipe the countertop after I do literally anything, so y'all know how I am about keeping my kitchen clean. But while we're waiting on that, we're going to grab another bowl, and I'm going to whip some cream. Can't seem to find the bowl I was going to whip cream in. That's sad. I don't want to have to use one of my white bowls. Because you guys wouldn't be able to see anything if I had to use one of my white bowls. Alright, looks like I'm using one of the white bowls. I'm sorry. I know you guys won't be able to see much with them, but, you know what, Goomba? You know what, Goomba? You're always here, so you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and make you a mod. So now I have two mods. I have Moon and I have Goomba. Everyone congratulate Goomba. Golf claps. Golf claps. Sorry, I had to make sure this was the right cream. So I started sniffing it. I was like, is this the right one? Yes, it is the right one. Alright. Need a little bit of powdered sugar. And then, we're just going to whip this. The best thing about this method is I don't have to do anything. Well, you're a mod now. You just literally just became a mod like 2 minutes ago. But you're always here, and you're bro, so you're a mod now. Honestly, you can whip cream as fast and as slow as you want. Your goal is just to get it to a certain consistency, and I'll show you guys the consistency in a sec. Okay, so we have whipped this to something called not even soft peaks. This is the consistency we want it. Now, this is not whipped cream. Y'all know whipped cream is supposed to be stiff. This is just cream that has been mildly whipped. So that's what we want. And it's only sweetened a little bit because we're already adding this sugar to our egg yolks, and we're going to go ahead and do that now. If it will all come out. Must have gotten some water in it. Whoops. Okay, so we're gonna collect our baby whisk again. I don't really want to use broken whisk for this, but we're gonna have broken whisk on standby just in case baby whisk can't handle this. So we're going to mix it a little before we put it on the eye. You guys might see my wrist all up in the camera, and I apologize in advance. But then, we come here, and we're going to whisk it until it turns a certain color. I actually think my water's up too high, so excuse me again with my arm in the camera. I'm going to lower the water. And I'm going to mix this myself. This is also a similar way. You also make hollandaise in this way. And I guess one day if I do a cooking show, like somewhere where I'm actually doing cooking, like how I used to do in the intermissions in my baking, I'll show you guys how to make hollandaise. Hollandaise is actually pretty complicated. That's why you don't see a lot of restaurants serving Eggs Benedict. Okay, you're gonna have to give me a minute, Senpai. I can't see the question you're asking me. Good Lord, it's getting hot over here. You can lift this up every so often to let the steam out, because it will overheat your bowl, and then you'll have nothing but scrambled eggs. These eggs are not light enough for my liking, so I'm going to keep going. That got a little steamy, but you know what? It's fine. I want them to be a little bit lighter. You can see how they've changed color and how they're much lighter now. But what we're looking for is something called ribbon stage, and we're not quite there yet. Baby Whisk seems to be holding its own. I'm proud of him. Let's get some Baby Whisk love in the chat. Love for Baby Whisk. Baby Whisk is awesome. Okay, I think we're good now. You see how it's kind of leaving a ribbon in the eggs here? I don't know if you guys can see that, but that is ribbon stage. And that's nice and thick. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and take this off the eye and not burn myself. Ouch. So yeah. Let's say goodbye to the pot of boiling water. Alright. Okay, Baby Whisk, you've served us well. Now, I'm going to introduce you guys to Marscapone. Marscapone is genius. Like, Marscapone is probably the best sort of cream cheese you will ever taste in your life. This stuff is amazing. And it is one of the major ingredients in tiramisu. So we're using Broken Whisk for this, because Baby Whisk is tired and my hand is cramping because of Baby Whisk. So we're using Broken Whisk for this. And we're just going to whisk in the mascarpone cheese little by little. Maybe that's too little. There we go. That's a good bit. That's a good bit. I like that. And if it doesn't work, I can always put Baby Whisk in the machine here. I really love this hand mixer. I'm so glad I found it again. Alright. See how this is getting now? Look at that. Alright, and I'm going to go ahead and add the rest of the mascarpone. I said, the world's greatest cream cheese. And people will probably be really, really mad at me for calling it cream cheese. But, says Pop, you know, who cares? Before I start mixing that back in, I'm going to check on the cupcakes again. They are looking fan-freaking-tastic right now. Except for two that look like they fallen over. I want to say they're done, but we're going to give them the old poke poke. Oh, knocked over the broom. My bad. I'm going to give them the old pokey poke. See how they are? I'd say they're about done, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off the oven, and I think I'm going to leave them in there for like 2 minutes. And I think they'll be, great. So, before I do that, before I finish that though, let me go back to Broken Whisk and whisk in the rest of this Marscapone here. Alright. Our next order of business is to whip in our whipped cream. And our whipped cream, the reason why it's so soft is because we want it to hold its own, yeah, but we don't want it to, I guess, overpower. So what we're going to do is we're going to add some of it, and then we're just going to fold. We don't want to break this, we just want to fold. And if it looks a little gritty, don't worry, it's not broken. I remember when I first did this, I thought it was broken, and I was like, oh god, what did I do wrong? But no, it's fine. When it looks like this, it's fine. Just as long as it's all homogenized, the eggs will take care of the emulsification. Trust me. Alright, so now we're going to take out the cupcakes for real. And I'll show you them in just a sec. A little much, so I'm going to leave that over for just a sec. Alright. Oh, right. Can't taste this yet, because it needs one more thing. Touch of vanilla. Just a touch. Just a tip. Alright, and now we have nice, fluffy tiramisu filling. Mein Gott, that is rich. Oh god. So rich that I want a little bit more. Oh god. That is friggin' amazing. A little bit more. Don't judge me! Oh god. Let me see if there's anything else in here that I can get at. There we go. Now, you're free to whip your heavy cream to stiff peaks, but I will say is that there is a good chance that it will break if you do that. So, you know, your own discretion. What is up, country girl? We're making Lucio cupcakes today, my dear. Looks good. Alright. So I'm putting away. I'm going to clean up the rest of this right now. And then what I'm probably going to do is here. So we're going to set this aside I'm gonna save this. This is mine. Now, if you guys wonder what I do with some of these cupcakes, I usually give them to my mom's coworkers, or Cake Dad, or Cake Dad finds someone else to give them to, like my neighbors. Trust me, they never go to waste. Except for that one Symmetra cupcake yesterday that Colin was for. That one went to waste. Sorry, but we're not eating. As much as we love Symmetra, we don't love Symmetra so much that we're going to eat cupcakes off the floor for her. That's cute how you guys bond over Minecraft. I was never much of a Minecraft player, but I did enjoy watching Minecraft Let's Plays, especially like early Achievement Hunter. Like early Achievement Hunter Minecraft Let's Plays were my jam. Oh, wait, wrong mixer. Okay. So, hand mixer's going bye-bye. Everyone say bye to hand mixer. You did a good job. Especially because he doesn't get out much. Okay. Boiler's going back. Let me show you guys the cupcakes before I put them in the fridge to chill. But here's how the cupcakes look. Let me put them over here so you guys can actually see them and not have them off to the side. We're going to take one of the ones that sort of tilted. It got angry and got tilted. Mostly because something's wrong with one of the racks, and I got to fix it before tomorrow. So you see this? See, it's a lot lighter and fluffier than the Symmetra cupcake. And that's exactly what I was hoping for, because Lucio is light and fluffy and a dear sweetheart. Alright. So into the fridge they go. Into the fridge they would go if all my mother's gluten-free stuff wasn't already in there. Did not even see that. We've got to rearrange the fridge a little bit. Alright. Now my cupcake rack is clean. Like I said, it's all of the gluten-free stuff is on there. Lucio is the booper. I don't know what you're talking about. He's the booper. Like, he invented the boop. I'm having a little bit of my tiramisu. I don't know if it's going to hold up on this hot cupcake, but we'll see. Yeah, see, it's so hot it's kind of falling apart a little. Mmm! Mmm! Oh yeah! That's freaking excellent. It's excellent because it's light and fluffy, and the cake itself isn't as dense as the Symmetra cupcake. All right. I can actually play a pretty solid Lucio. There was this time in competitive where I got 27 eliminations, not environmental kills, okay? Not including environmental kills. I got 26 eliminations as Lucio. Somehow. I have no idea. And I believe 14 of them were solo kills. But like, I was just amazed as everybody else was. They were like, did the Lucio just kill me like 3 times? Like, and I was like, I guess? I don't know. I was just scared, and I was trying to get you away from me. It was pretty much, and like, they were like, how did you concentrate on healing? I was like, I don't know if I did. I wish I had recorded it. I really do. But I think after that, I was like, you know what? I'm losing my mind. I need to go to bed. Like, every time I play Overwatch, there's always a distinct moment, like, where I'm in the middle of a game, or maybe I'm in the middle of a game, or, maybe I'm waiting on a game, and I'm like, I want to go to bed. So, honestly, and usually I'm only playing quick play nowadays, mostly because this competitive season is garbage. And I know why it's garbage. Because there are a lot of teenagers who tend to troll people and grief on other games. Didn't have a lot of games to come out this summer to do that on, so now they're just doing it on Overwatch. I don't think I've ever met someone over 23 who actively trolls and griefs in a game. Now, why did she put my confectioner sugar on the top shelf? I am the shortest person in my family, and everything is always on the top shelf. And then usually the response will be, well, because it's more organized. And it'll be like, well, I can't reach! Alright. Wow, this is going a bit faster than I thought it would. Okay, so, question. Question for the chat. Has anybody seen the new Overwatch comic? The one with Doomfist and Reaper in what I hope, in my heart of hearts, is a new skin for him. Like, I genuinely hope that that is a new skin for him. It looks so good. So good. Moon! Hey, what's up? But yes, the new lore comic is freaking amazing. But, like, he just has the best. It's such a great skin, and I want it to be a skin so bad. Also, tons of people don't seem to realize that Symmetra and Reaper are black. Like, Symmetra is Indian, yes, but she's a dark-skinned Indian, so to me, she counts. And Gabriel Reyes, even though he's an ethereal being with a chip on his shoulder, he also counts. Hang on. This is not the right half and half. This is the half and half that everybody uses for their... This is the half and half that everybody uses for their coffee. I need the half and half that actually has my name on it. Or someone's been using the half and half with my name on it. I see. It's not even in the fridge. Awesome. Okay, so I guess I'm using this one. I wanted to use half and half for this one. Mostly because with the Symmetra Cupcake, the texture of the buttercream was a bit too soft. I'm doing okay, Moon. I'm still pretty nervous because I don't know if I've gotten that job or not, and they're not going to let me know until next week. And it's a full-time job with benefits. Let me pour some vanilla in here. It's a full-time job with benefits. And, you know, I need that. I need my benefits. Because, I mean, I lost them when I lost my job. And if I can get very adulty here, with all the stuff that's going on in American politics, I don't want to touch universal health care with a long stick right now. Because I feel like that's a one-way ticket to some really to a really, really, really stressful tax season. And I don't want to deal with that. So, I need a full-time job. I need a full-time job back with benefits, if that's possible. Now, do I hope for all the people that universal health care will remain a thing? Yes, I do. Because people that are going into college really need, people that are going into college and people that are less fortunate really, really need, you know, like if they want people in college and people who are less fortunate to be able to work and be able to function in society, then they need good health care benefits. And better public transportation. Like, there needs to be better public transportation in the entire country. Not just where I live. Like, where I live, it's become like a big, huge deal, especially... That's the texture we want, by the way. Especially after the fiasco with bus drivers straight up leaving their fares on the street. And it's actually happened to me. I've actually been left at a bus station by the bus driver. In the middle of the night. It was about 2 a.m. I did not get home till 4. Yeah, I did not get home till 4 in the morning. And like, it was at that point where, like, and like, the whole time I was like, oh my god, it's so dark, it's so scary here, something bad is going to happen, I'm gonna cry. When I got home, I was just so relieved to have actually gotten home. I didn't even cry. Like, I just like laughed. I was just so happy. I was like, you know what, I'm home, that's it, I'm done. No, we're not gonna use the wooden spoon for this one. Where's my rubber spatula? We're gonna revive the rubber spatula. There we go. Nice, nice. And we're gonna grab 2 bowls. As per usual. Oh yeah, Moon, you bet I am going to put my name on this one. Or at least a big fat initial on it, because then they'll know it's mine. Because it's mine now. Yeah, back on the subject of public transportation. It was St. Patrick's Day is a huge deal in my city. Like, it's the equivalent of Palm Beach's, like, spring break. And it can get pretty outrageous and really ridiculous. Now, I worked right downtown, like, literally right in the thick of it. And it was probably one of the most harrowing work days I have ever had. Like, I don't think I've ever had to deal with that much bullshit in one day. Like, it was so, like, I don't even know if I could put it into words, it was so bad. So, because it was so crowded downtown, I couldn't park. So, even though I could actually use my car that day, because I know you followed the blog that I was running. I know, Moon, I know you followed the blog I was running, during that time, you would know that sometimes I didn't have my car. Sometimes my dad had to use it. Sometimes my sister had to use it. So I didn't have free reign over my car the whole time like I do now. So even though I got to use my car, still had to ride the bus. So the bus came about 10 minutes late. And because it had to stop everywhere, I ended up being about 30 minutes late to work. The walk from the bus stop to work is about 25 minutes. So with that 5-minute delay and then the walk, I fell really behind. So I was very late to work. I watched at least, I would have to say at least 10 people an hour be escorted from the lounge because of how drunk they were. And it was all green stuff. So like there was green liquor on the floor. There was green liquor in a woman's hair. Like it was a hot mess. Like it's probably, and I hate using this word, but it was probably the trashiest thing I've ever seen. Like, you had people so drunk that they were literally, that they weren't peeing on the street, but they were just pissing their pants. Like, it was that bad. And because of that, we eventually had to close the lounge, which led to what was almost an angry mob. Like, there were people banging on the doors, like banging on the windows. I believe one of the windows actually broke. And then, you know what? After that, I just wanted to go home. I had done so many orders of nachos, so many orders of quesadillas. Like, it was just, I wish I could put into words how crappy it was. It was just crappy. Okay, it was bad. Hey, Laura. Aw, country girl, don't be sad. Don't be sad. I'm here to make you happy. I'm gonna make you happy with the cupcakes. If I could find where my... Oh, never mind. I was like, where did my food coloring go? Here's my food coloring. Green, yellow. Okay. Lollipop sticks for the yellow. Okay, but continuing with the story, I finally get off work at about midnight after I had come in at, I believe, 1. I came in at 1. I didn't leave until midnight. Okay. Yeah, I didn't leave until midnight, and so I get on the bus rolls around at the time it should have, it was about 12:10. And, I asked her just to double check, because I usually double check. This is the 14 bus to 204, right? And she says, I'm not going to 204. And I was like, okay, that's a little weird. I'm sure she's going to 204. I'm sure she doesn't mean that. So I just I take my seat, and I'm just kind of sitting there. And about 45 minutes later, had to go to a motor race with her mother. Aw. She'll come back. Then you guys can canoodle all you like. See, I'm old. I use the phrase canoodle. That's to tell you guys how old I am. Yeah, and so I'm sitting on the bus, and there are 2 other people with me. They're all kind of young boys. Like, they're about 17, 16 years old. Probably shouldn't be out this late at night. And judging by the way they're whispering at each other, and like, judging by the way they were whispering at each other, and like, trying to think of excuses for one of the guy's moms, like, hey, this is why he was late. We had to do this and this and this and this. Yeah, like they're coming up with excuses. It was pretty obvious that they snuck out to go party at St. Patrick's Day. And so I'm like, well, those kids are in trouble. And then she stops at the Walmart, which is the stop before 204. And she announces that this is the last stop. And me and the teenage boys, we kind of look at each other very uncertainly. And she says, this is the last spot, get off. And we all kind of look at each other. Now, as an adult, I feel like I should have stood my ground and been like, no. The map says, you're taking us to 204, you should take us to 204. In her mind, though, it was too late to go to 204. In her mind, her route was already running late, and she was going to skip the 204 stop and go back downtown before she could, before people would notice that she was late. And she said, I'm not stopping at 204. So we all kind of totter off the bus, looking at each other very uncertainly. And I can't remember exactly what I had said to her. I think I said something along the lines of, oh yeah, I said, I'm sorry, listen, I can't do this. What would it take for you to take me down to 204? Because it's like an hour walk, and it's an hour walk, but like a 10-minute drive. And she looks me square in the eye and says, a new job. And she shuts the door in my face and drives off. I shouldn't have got off the bus. Like, in retrospect, I shouldn't have got off the bus. I should have like, you're literally going to abandon me and two teenagers, like, me and 3 teenagers out here at a random Walmart in the middle of freaking nowhere. But, no, I didn't. However, and then I proceeded to walk on what looked like the middle, like the asshole of nowhere. And I walked all the way back to my car in the middle of the night from about 1:30 p.m. from about 2 p.m. to about 3:30 p.m. It was about 3:30 p.m. when I got to 3:30 a.m. when I got to my car. And yeah, I didn't get home till about 4. And my dog, oh, bless that poor dog, came up to me like, oh my god, you've been gone for forever. And unfortunately, I couldn't call anyone because my parents were out of town and my friends live all the way in the next town over. So I couldn't really call anyone and be like, hey, could you pick me up? Could you pick me up and drive me to my car that to you will be literally 10 minutes away? So I couldn't call anyone, I couldn't contact anyone. So I had to walk. And so the next day, I went to the bus station and I was like, I need to talk to who was on the 204 route last. I need to talk to whoever was on the 204 route right now. And then I told them the whole story, and yeah, it was like, I've never been the one like, I'm gonna complain to HR, but the thing is, she abandoned me in the middle of nowhere, like in the middle of the night. If something had happened to me or those teenage boys, like, I'm sure, like, I did eventually realize that the boys got home safe because we did briefly speak to each other, and I was like, listen, sweetie, this is not safe, you know, here, give me your phone number, it's like, call your mom or whatever, and he couldn't call his mom because she wasn't in, so it was, but yeah, I I went a little buck wild up there in the bus station the day after. I was like, nope, I need to speak to that woman, and I need to speak to her now. Because this is what happened to me yesterday, and I have the phone number of the 2 boys that were with me, and... whew, like I said, I don't normally get like that. I'm not that person. I'm really not. Like, I make sure that, you know, you treat... because I've worked in the service industry for so long that it's very important to me to watch people treat people in the service industry with respect. But for that to happen, I was just like, no, this is unacceptable. And I went off. Y'all, I went off. And of course, I didn't tell my parents anything until the situation was resolved. Because I know my parents, and even though I was 20, I want to say 23 at the time, I know they would have been like, I know you can handle your own issues, I know you should handle your own issues, but look, we gonna roll up in there, and we're not gonna take no for an answer. But they had the bus driver write me and the 3 boys a letter of apology. Hang on, guys. I need to get another shade of green. I'll take moss green. Here we go. Kelly green. She endangered people. I think complaining was justified. Yeah. Yeah, at that point, like... At that point, I felt justified. Like, usually if I have to complain to somebody, I feel really guilty. But no, at that point, I was like, homie, don't play that. And, like, you best believe, like, if they hadn't done anything, I would have been looking for a lawyer. Like, I'm not even joking. I would have been looking for a lawyer. But yeah, if you guys want to know why I hate St. Patrick's Day, that's mostly the reason. Well, that, and there was one time where we found this girl, me and a coworker. She was just sitting there. She looked blitzed out of her mind, and we were really afraid that she'd been roofied. And so we, you know, we pulled her up, and we pulled her up, and, you know, we tried to get her to talk to us, like, hey, are you okay? Did someone, like, are you trying to, did someone put something in your drink? And she's blitzed out of her mind, and she can't really answer. However, upon further inspection, she was not drunk, but she was high. And she was so high on marijuana. She was so high, like, she had smoked so much weed that, she kept asking us if we were from Elfland. Oh yeah, like, there was something in that weed, too. Because it didn't smell like regular weed. So, yeah, there was another instance where I was doing some, because what we did for St. Patrick's Day at the hotel was they had the chef sit outside, and we grilled burgers past a certain time, and then once it got past, I think 9 o'clock, we would go back in the kitchen and do like sandwich orders. Like, we wouldn't go out and grill burgers anymore. Because, one, they didn't want us out there in the dead of night among a whole bunch of drunk assholes. So, as I'm grilling a burger, this man comes up next to me. And he's like inspecting the burgers. And he's really close. I mean, super close to the point where he could possibly be breathing on the food. So I square up a little bit, and I'm like, sir, I'm sorry, but you're going to need to back up. This is, it's a hot grill. It's pretty dangerous, and I wanted to say, I can already tell you're pretty drunk, but I didn't. And I was like, it's pretty dangerous. You might want to stand back. And he then grabs my hand. The hand that's holding the tongs, and he starts inspecting my nails. And he's like, I work at the salon. And I was like, and in my mind, y'all know I don't like being touched. Like, y'all know I can't handle being touched by strangers. So in my mind, like, alarm bells are going off. And my coworker is standing next to me, whose name was Matt. He's standing next to me. His eyes are like super big, like, oh crap, someone touched cake. This is not good. Like, because he knows my initial reaction to being touched when I don't want to be. Mostly because he grabbed me once and I hit him. I hit him because he scared me. Like, don't just grab me, okay? It'll scare me, and I will hit you. It won't even be on purpose. It'll just be like, smack! I've done it to my brother. I've even done it to my mom. Like, she's scared the crap out of me, and my initial reaction is always to just start swinging. So yeah, he grabs my hands, and I'm just like, I'm fighting the urge to go ahead and just burn him with the tongs I have in my hand. And he was like, and he just started rattling off, like, how I should take better care of my nails, how dry my hands are, that I should really be careful or I'm going to end up with old lady hands. And I'm assuming his boyfriend, because they seem pretty close, runs over out of nowhere, and he's like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. He's like, you know what, Eddie, why don't you come with me? We're gonna get you some water. And he looks at me, he keeps looking back at me and going, oh my god, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, just don't let it happen again? I don't know what I can say to that. Okay. Now that we have a better view of the colored buttercream, we're going to bring the cupcakes back. It's really bothering me that I no longer have an even number. Alright. Whoa. That's still pretty hot, so we're not going to put that there. We're going to put our buttercream over here for now. But I think that is a good color. Okay, we're going to do the blue ones. We're going to do the yellow ones too, but the blue ones in particular are the ones I want, mostly because of the bottom of Lucio's laser skates. Hang on. Let's... Yo. Alright. Uh-oh. There. The tops are nice and flat, which is exactly what we want, because I'm not doing your average flower pattern like I normally do. Let me show you guys this one more time. The texture of the cupcake, we're going to get in really close, is definitely not as dense as Symmetra's cupcake. It's nice and light and airy. We did get rid of a whole bunch of air bubbles, so there are no big pockets of air here. And this is exactly the texture we want for these. It needs to be soft. The coffee cake needs to be soft and spongy, because if it's not, you're just going to get a big block of something that tastes like really, really burnt espresso. And we don't want that. That's why you have to make sure that everything is room temperature, everything, and everything looks how it needs to. Alright. We're going to bring out our tiramisu filling. Now, here is a little PSA about the tiramisu filling, is that if you don't have access to pasteurized eggs, don't make this. Just use whipped cream and mascarpone. Don't put any eggs in it. Even though the eggs are somewhat cooked, they aren't cooked all the way. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. They really aren't. So, if you don't have access to pasteurized eggs, don't make this filling as it's made in the recipe Bible. Just whip yourself some mascarpone, whip yourself some whipped cream, and whip it all together. It won't be as rich, but it'll be just as good. But like I said, it won't be as rich, and you'll feel a little empty inside, just saying. Alright. So with the power piping bags, I'm going to stuff those in there. And yes, I always use the Wilton ones because they're really big. And they don't tear. Other ones tear. Okay. So, let me locate my piping tips that I need here. Okay, a couple of important things. This is a rounded tip. See this? This is a rounded tip. I'm going to show you what I'll be doing with this. It'll be nice and flat. But this little number is a filling tip. Now, you've seen me fill cupcakes by taking out this before, but here's the thing. This cake is not as dense as a symmetric cake. So, if I took out the center like I did the symmetric cake, it'll most likely fall apart. So, what I want to do is I just want to stick this in here and fill it up that way. So, I'll show you guys what I mean in just a sec here. We're not using any baking twine scissors, we're just using regular scissors. There. Alright, since this is so long, I already cut a little bit out of my piping bag. But, because this is so thin, people usually use couplers for this. I don't really like to. But, I don't know. We'll see. Remember, be careful when cutting. You can always cut more, but you can't cut less. Just like that, see? So I'll use this one. Alright, see? Easily rectified. So, I'll color code this one. This will be the green. This will be yellow. Chat is quiet! Talk to me! I love you guys. You know I do. And stop talking about my bus station stories. Yeah, I think that's good. Okay. First deals first is we're going to fill these cupcakes. So, rubber spatula seems to have gone missing again, so we're just going to use the wooden spoon. You don't have to use all of this, but I would advise you use all of it, if you get my drift. Use as much as you can. Don't make the cupcake explode, because you can do that. Okay. So, poke that in there. The reason I use tiramisu for... Whoa. Lucio is not only because of the history of the tiramisu, but also because this is about as close to a Brazilian latte as I can get. I'll be honest with you guys, condensed milk does not, like, a Brazilian latte is made with condensed milk. Here, let me give you guys a close-up of what's going on here. I'm just sticking the filling tip in and slowly dragging it out. There you go. Try not to poke through to the bottom of your cupcake. I mean, go as deep as you can, but don't poke all the way through, because then you'll just end up ripping through the bottom of this, and you don't really want that. Yes, I looked that off. What of it? Okay. There we go. And don't worry if you get some on the top. It's really not that big of a deal. Yeah, I'll definitely be making another batch of these. Okay. Oh, whoops. Well, that's still clean. Alright, so you guys know the drill with, y'all know the drill with my tie-dyed. Let's see. You want one. Well, maybe if you went on the West Coast, you could get one. But you're only on the West Coast, Goomba. I can put a little bit more. Yeah, there we go. Good. Alright. Now for the other end. I think I might grab a knife for the yellow one, because I stuffed so much green in there. He's a frog boy, okay? Frog boy is best boy. He needs a lot of green in his life. He doesn't have as much yellow in his uniform than he does green. I mean, he has more blue than anything else, but, you know, I didn't put any of that in my frosting. That's the thing. Unless you use a splitting coupler, which I don't, because I think those things are bullshit, frankly. Unless you use a splitting coupler, you really don't need... You really... Yeah, see? Look at that. Alright, here's what I'm gonna do. We're gonna push this through until a little bit of yellow shows. Wow, I really don't have a lot of yellow showing. Okay, so... Let's rethink our plan here. Alright, come on. Open. I didn't use you that much. Open. There you go. Okay. Now we have a lot more. Then we have some green over here. Okay, these should turn out a bit. Oh, whoops. Something couldn't wait to get on the cupcake. Okay, we'll see if this one turns out better. It should. Yeah, there we go. That's nice and tie-dye colored. Okay, so for this one, it's going to be a bit different. We can do it like that. Or we can do it or this way. So whichever way you want. We are going to take a butter knife to these at some point, so let's try again. There, that's a lot better. Except a little lopsided, but better. So let's try that again. Whoops. Alright, let's see if we can get this last one. Oh, I don't think we're gonna be able to. No! Ah! Let's see if we can cheat. No, we can't cheat. Okay. One green and one yellow and one mix. Nah. Uh-oh. Whoops. There's a little bit of chocolate on that one. I really like the tie-dye effect, in case y'all haven't noticed. Like, I love the tie-dye effect. Ah! I got this one with my nail a little bit, so we're gonna fix that. We just want to deal with the tails on here, so that's all we want. We don't want it to get too muddled. We got some filling sticking out on this one, so we're going to deal with that. Just like that. And this one, I'm going to be a little more careful with this one too. I'm gonna fix this one up. Get the yellow to show a bit more. I don't like how the colors are mixing on this one. There we go. That's a little better. Not a lot better, but a little better. Alright. But I do like how the other ones look. This one is leaving a bit to be desired, but I think I'll be okay. Oh, hey, does anybody know if Dream Daddy, costs a bunch? Like, how much does it cost? Because if it doesn't cost that much and it's on Steam, I might buy it and I might play that tomorrow, since I can't get any of my Pokemon games to work. Alright. We're gonna see if I can fit this over my hand. Like I used to do it in culinary school. Because when we were in culinary school, he wouldn't let us use the cups. He was like, no, you guys have to learn how to do it the old-fashioned way. And then, well, when we did it correctly, he would be very complimentary. Like, he would be like, yeah, you see, now you can do it. That's the old-fashioned way. That's how we did it when I was in school. But if you couldn't do it, he would be pretty harsh. He'd be like, come on, this is like the tried and true method of people in France, and you want to be a culinary school student? And you can't do this just being a culinary school student? What is your problem? There. Alright, now that we finally have our mix here, if it weren't for the messed up frosting on the sides, this one would be absolutely perfect. Oh lord, everyone plays this song on their videos. Oh, I really like how those turned out. Oh, I really love how those turned out. They look perfect. I mean, if I was feeling generous, I could roll out a bunch of gum paste. I could roll out a bunch of gum paste and be like, okay, well, this is how I'm going to do. I could put I could put some gum paste out. Could roll like Lucio's little frog emblem, but I don't think I'm gonna do that. Mostly because I'm not feeling that generous. And also, I think elaborate decorations like that on cupcakes are kind of a waste of time, especially because people can't readily eat them. Putting something not entirely edible on a cake is understandable, because it's a cake, okay? And there are going to surely be other parts of them. Then surely that there are going to be other parts that are just as edible. You know? But putting it on a cupcake, because the cupcake is so small, seems sort of disingenuous. Alright. Time to break out the turntable. And do a little bit of cleanup. Uh-oh. Got some buttercream spills here. Alright. I'm getting set up. Take out my turntable. That my rice should have been left on the countertop, but somebody put it away. I say somebody, but I know it was Mom. I know it was Cake Mom. Alright, turntable's out. Let's put the rest of this stuff up, shall we? Alright. We are almost done. and better at these baking streams, I think. Because remember when they used to be like 5 hours long? As much as I'm sure you guys like to watch baking, I don't think a 5-hour stream of me talking to myself is very fun. At least not for you guys. It's fun for me, but I also gotta think about you guys, because you guys are the reason I made this channel. And you guys are the reason I keep doing this channel. Anyways, opinions on Dream Daddy Simulator. On Dream Daddy. Let me know. I think we're gonna put this one away. Uh-oh, my finger got on that one. Alright, here we go. Lucio Cupcakes. Alright, let's get a better look here. Probably not over there by the dining room table, because there's a whole ton of things on it. Alright. Y'all probably got a good view of my dining room table there for a second. Alright, there we go. This might be an easier way to look at it, if you can. Oh god! There we go. That's much better. I forgot that this thing, like, when you tilt it, it needs to reevaluate its life and everything. Like, it's a bit tricky. But here, this might help. There we go. So these are our Lucio Cupcakes. I mean, this one could probably, as a matter of fact, because this one, the top got messed up, we're going to cut this one in half so I can show you guys. Okay. Oh, I can feel the amount of filling in here. I can feel it. Okay, so what knife should I use? To quote Kate, what knife should I use? Alright, we're going to bring out the big bread knife. This guy. And we're going to see how this cake looks, how this cupcake looks on the inside. You can see that I, because I did the flat ones like this, because I wanted something a little more masculine than, Symmetra's Cupcake, which had the flower designs on it. So look at this. Look at how deep the filling goes. Like, look at how cool that is. There we go. And, I mean, of course we're going to take a bite. Alright. So this one. Oh. Mmm. Okay, if you've ever had tiramisu, you can't just taste the chocolate. Now, I couldn't put brandy in this for obvious reasons. Also, brandy is freaking expensive on this side of the woods. But you have to be able to taste the coffee. And that's the thing about making a chocolate cake with coffee. And it's very important that you don't put any vanilla extract in it, because it will overpower. Now, you can put a little bit of almond, a little bit of anise extract. I didn't do that because I don't want the cinnamony taste mixed with my mixed with my chocolate and my coffee. But that's because I don't like the cinnamony taste. You guys know that I'm not a great big fan of cinnamon. But if you're really feeling adventurous, here's what I would advise you do. Make the mascarpone filling the same way I did, and then put like maybe a teaspoon or two of Fireball. If you want that cinnamony taste, put a teaspoon or two of Fireball in the mix before you whisk your eggs. And that, now I have to admit, as much as I'm not a fan of cinnamon, the Fireball with the coffee and the chocolate and just that bite at the end, oh, it's so good. Awesome. Just awesome. Alrighty, guys. Since you guys didn't answer me about Dream Daddy, tomorrow is most likely going to be Stardew Valley. I can't get that to stand up. This cake is just so, like, delicate and moist that it honestly does not stand up. Okay, so tomorrow will be Stardew Valley, starting at... let's say 3 o'clock. Tomorrow will probably be Stardew Valley at 3 o'clock. It'll probably go till 7 if I'm feeling generous. But, I've only played Stardew Valley once before. I haven't played Harvest Moonlight games in, like, literal years. Like, I'm not playing. It's been forever. But, I do love this effect on the frosting. Like, look at that little swirl effect. That's so cool. You are getting very, very hungry. Very hungry. Okay, I'm done. But yeah, tomorrow is going to be Stardew Valley. Like I said, I'll always schedule it before, but as of now, we're just going to say it's at 3 p.m. If you guys like, even though I will be taking Sunday off, as per usual, I think how it's going to go is that I will be taking Sunday and Wednesday off, not for church, but just for convenience reasons, and usually, because Sunday and Wednesday are usually perfect times for me to catch up on life and various other things that I need to do in real life. So, without further ado, if you really like this video, hit the like button. If you would like to see more of my adventures in baking and my adventures in sucking at video games, you can go ahead and tap that subscribe button. And most of all, stay weird, lovelies, and happy eating. I'm gonna have dessert.